When we talk about the terms of innovation, transformation, modernization, digitalization, you touched on the digital transformation being more of that evolution, but what does it actually mean to an organization?
Understanding what your consumer needs are, what your business needs are, and then what you have available. There's two parts to it. Taking what you have available and being able to leverage that to drive consumer engagement, new consumer capability, and so forth. Uber is a great example. They had the capability of being able to identify technology is already there to identify, okay, I need to get transportation from A to Z. But Uber's like, hey, that technology exists. We're just going to use it differently and engage the consumer a little bit differently, right? It's really taking the lens of understanding the consumer behavior and consumer need and breaking that down with how do you deliver that? And there are two parts innovation when you look at how you deliver that. One is there something that we have today that can drive that? And if there is, how do we bring that to life? The other part is something just doesn't exist. The technology is not there. The capability is not there. Data, whatever it might be, is not there. From that lens, what can you come up with to fill that gap? Maybe you have to create a new technology. Necessity is the mother of invention. So if there is a true need and there's a high value behind the need, we could probably build that technology. It's may not be simple, may not be easy, but that's where you start thinking about what's that next lens of that innovation. Greatest example here is, we had COVID. It happened. And, we look at innovation from a health perspective. It may not be digital, but it's still a lens of innovation. Hey, there's a technology that's 27 years old. We've been using it for things like E. coli and a couple other things. I forgot all the stuff that they used it for, but we've been using it for 27 years, just not mass, because it hasn't been proven whether or not it'll work. And, they didn't have the mass studies and so forth. And then COVID happened. Hey, we need a quick, rapid results for this. We have a solution. We already did that. Let's go down the path and figure out how we can use that, right? That's a example of using what you already have to drive that. But then when you start looking at how do we build something that new, I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head and I can't at the moment because everything in my head right now is an evolution of what we already have, right? There is no brand new build of a new capability that we've come up with for quite a while. I was actually talking to a couple of buddies the other day, combustion engine. When I think about that, that's an evolution of the steam engine.
I was just talking to a buddy of mine as well. It's like even the cloud. Well, I mean, technically it's just mainframe in a different sense. Bring CPU and memory, right? Yep. It's a shared model of resources. True innovation is rare, and that's why we always celebrate those people that are true innovators in our world.
Yeah, exactly. LASIK is a great example of a true innovation because that's something where up until you had the, hey, peel off the cornea, it was always a lens implant in your eye. Or even before that, just glasses like you and I wear, which great, but falls off your face and scratches and so forth.
My favorite right now, I don't know if you've seen the product, and I'm going to do the shameless plug on this one. There's eye drops to correct nearsightedness.
I was going to go get LASIK done, and I go to the doctor, and they do this whole, they're doing the exam and so forth. You won't even need to wear reading glasses later after having LASIK done because you just put these eye drops in. I'm like, what?
And this is where like that iteration process, right? And where the consumer need is, and find, is there something that we have today that we can iterate on or expand? Or is it something that we truly need to go down to the drawing board and figure out the new solution? And I think that's a great definition for innovation. It's not just creating for the sake of creating. It's filling a need rather than doing it for the sake of doing it, which as technologists, right? Just playing with new technology for the sake of it being new isn't necessarily the best solution.
Exactly. I actually think our next big wave from innovation, there's two areas. One, electric vehicles. We're going to see those shift big time. And then space travel.
I'm hoping for that one. As an 8-year-old kid, you're always looking up going, wait, I can go to space? Yeah, I want to do that.
With more companies in it, not just NASA, I think that's going to be the next race. That's a whole other segue.
Future session. We'll get into that one.